Welcome back, folks, to the Business Blast, brought to you by the wonderful folks down at Satco. Go to satco.com. The gangsters, yeah. They do the light thing, they do the right thing. What's up, Greggy?
Hey, business blast time. So regarding the business, you own your business, I own mine. We have office space, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have employees that work there. We all know what's been going on in the last year with changes and everything, or 18 months, whatever it's been. But it's starting to appear more and more in the visits I've been doing to different facilities and things that the office is becoming a secondary workspace for people. As a business owner, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't let anybody work from home. I
Okay.
don't like it at all. There are certain people here that would be capable of it, that they could do their jobs, their prescribed duties daily from home, for sure, but they would miss out on all the other interactions that happen. So, 50, for example, the person that, does all the invoicing and does all that sort of stuff, the, you know, bookkeeping and filing and, ARAP, and then the person that helps them, they could work from home no problem. They could do
Mhm.
those things from home no problem, and it wouldn't be an issue. But they would. There's another whole section of their job which is soft and undescribed and doesn't not contained in a job description, and that's collaborating with other people in the office. That's impossible to do on Zoom or whatever you want. This is the time right now that we're going to talk about the things that we need to talk about. What do you got? Mom, oh, that's my kid. Hang on a second. I don't know, but it's just those conversations that happen throughout the day that you just jump in on and all that sort of stuff. My office is a very dynamic place like that. We can't survive without it. So we have a COVID waiver that we make everybody sign, and it just says, hey, it doesn't. It's not even a COVID. It's called the voluntary assumption of risk with respect to infectious diseases or something. I wrote it. And I had my lawyer
Mhm.
look at it. He said, "This is ridiculous. No one's going to sign it." Everybody signed it. So he told me it's ridiculous. No one will ever sign this waiver. And it's like, everybody signed it. Everyone wanted to come back to work. I gave them all the
Mhm.
choice. You can work from home, if you can. Not, Scotty, the producer. You could probably work from home, actually. You can figure out a way. But people need to be around one another. And I don't think that, while I think there's lots of jobs, and if companies are, I'm not here telling anybody else what to do.
Mhm.
You understand what I mean? If you got a company, and the next business class we're going to do is going to address this. If you got a handle on it and you're rocking and rolling it, man, sure, I give people all the freedom they want to do whatever they want. I think that's great. But
Yeah,
for
and I think
me, it
that's kind
doesn't
of
work for me.
yeah. No, that's where I'm at. I think it's everybody's preference to some degree, and as long as, in my opinion, as
Every
long as you get the
boss's
job done,
preference.
every boss's preference. There you go. As long as you get the job done, it's not a bad thing. But I think that too much of it now, again, from my experience being in the field, is people are just finding excuses now to not come in. And this isn't my company. This is me out selling lighting and seeing people, and like you go to these facilities that half the people are gone, and it's like, oh, they really can't be here right now. They have their own office. There's no one in here. You can come to the office still sometimes, and I think that's the point. Is you can have it as I don't know if secondary. I don't like that term. I think that's the term that bothers me. Is my first primary workspace is my home. My secondary is my office. It should be the other way around. If you have the capability to get into your office, if you're local, if you work for a company that's in a different state or country or whatever it is, totally different deal. But if you were in your office before COVID, every day doing your thing, there's no reason now it should become your secondary workspace. It should be your primary workspace where you started. You should get right back into the mix.
How dare you, Greg Eric? What do you think you are? Some kind of public health professional or something? Come on, man. You don't know shit about health.
Yeah,
Um,
no, nothing to do with health. It's all, the collaboration you said, because even when you do an audio call or whatever it might be, and you have that discussion, and then you get off of it, and you're like, oh, I meant to ask about that. Even you and I mean, we haven't seen each other for a year and a half, but how many times do I call you right after and be like, oh yeah, but what about this? Or you call me,
sure.
or we're constantly doing that. But if you're in person in the office, and you can go right over here, and say, hey, what about this? And then
Yeah,
and that collaboration
put your hand on his back
progress.
and say, "How's it going, brother? You doing okay?"
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
lost
yeah,
that deal. I understand, man. Don't worry. Don't take it personally. The next one's
mhm,
coming down the pipe.
yeah.
You know, the remote worker breaks into two types. There's the conscientious worker, and there's the I love COVID shirker.
Yeah.
Okay? And so,
Hmm.
what percentage of the population this is, or whatever. Problem I have, or the good thing I have, is shirkers don't survive very long with me. Like they just can't. I watch everything in my office all the time. I'm always talking to the people. I don't have a big operation, and we're going to talk about this in the next business blast. But there are people that work effectively from home, dude, and they get their stuff done, and then they move on with their life, and that's great. And whether that's 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, they get their stuff done, and then boss is happy, and the business is good, and they're doing great. But there's people out there that nothing better in the world ever happened to them than COVID-19. Okay.
For sure.
And now they get to be at home. They can say, I'm scared to come back in. And, hey, maybe some of them are legitimately afraid. Maybe they are. There's a lot of people that, have been, scared shitless by the government and the mass media. But there's a lot of people that, I suspect the best thing that ever happened to them was to get paid not to work.
Mhm.
And that's what's happening. And I think it's a massive problem. Look at Goldman Sachs, or one of them, demanded all employees return to work. Okay, last week or the week before, they came out and they said, or 2 weeks ago, everybody's coming back to work. I don't know if it was Goldman Sachs. It was one of the investment banks. No more
Sure.
homework in. Get your ass in here. And hey, I don't blame them. You're paying these people big bucks. Yeah, I know. How many times? I mean, the finance minister of Ontario. Okay, want to hear a little story? People might find this interesting for other reasons other than the story, but we'll let the listeners decide. Okay, last December, when the government was saying, "Please don't travel," so before they decided they could just tell everybody what to do, when they could ask people first. Said, please don't travel unnecessarily. Now no one's allowed to move. But I mean, back then, the incremental, right? They did this very slowly, this sort of stuff, and scaring the crap out of some people and cajoling others and coercing others. But, they, please don't travel. Okay. So the finance minister of Ontario, Scott, look up his name while you're in there. He's not the finance minister anymore, but he's the finance minister. Okay. Takes a trip to a banking island in the Caribbean on a vacation. Like, not everybody goes to this island, right? But it's a known destination for people that want to set up maybe bank accounts that people can't see. But while he's gone, he releases a Twitter video talking about maple syrup and how he loves putting maple syrup on his pancakes. And from the door of his house, well, meanwhile, he's in this island, and but he makes it look like he's in Whitby, Ontario, right? Then he's doing Zoom calls from the island with one of those fake backgrounds that you can do now.
Hmm.
You know how you can do a fake background?
Yep.
And he has a big sweater on in the Zoom calls, right? So, no, I'm at home. I'm working away as finance, but this is the finance minister of the largest Canadian province. Okay, it's not like, some treasurer of some small town. This guy's dealing with billions of dollars. Okay, and he has some sweater on, and he's pretending he's in Ontario. Okay, perfect example of what you get with remote working. Perfect example. Rod Phillips is this guy's name. There you go. Thanks, Scotty. Rod Phillips. And people that are at home, not working on these Zoom things and all this sort of stuff, there's a lot of you out there. You're setting this thing up to get ruined for everybody. Okay? Some people are good at working from home. All right, that's great, and we should allow it. But all you shirkers out there that are hiding where you are and you're in the Caribbean or wherever and you're not working and you're saying you're working and all that, you're wrecking it for everybody else that can homework. So let's get back. Let's be honest. Don't be like Rod Phillips, the cheater. So what were you doing there? And so I think there's a lot of this in corporations right now, and that's why some of the investment banks are saying, you know what? No more calling in from your yacht with your subscription to Musk's internet service out in the Atlantic while we pay you $1 million a year. Okay, get in the office. Let's get some work done. That's my take.
I'm with you.
Go to satco.com. That's Satco. They do the light thing. They do the right thing. Check them out.